I have a real statement to make. Just because a phone is better doesn't mean that it's always for you. Now, when I say a phone could be better, but it might not be for you, might sound very confusing when you first hear it. And this is something that should be more simple than it actually is. If something is better, it should be the only option that you go with when compared to the other options, right? Well, I'm sorry to say, but no. Life isn't that simple. As humans, when we're in the process of making a decision, we look at things like affordability, durability, productiveness, and most importantly, we usually go for what we resonate with the most. In the world of technology, I've been fortunate enough to talk with many people about what made them choose a certain phone, laptop, computer, all the way down to the most simple pieces of tech. And if you are someone who just wants the best of the best, you'd be very surprised why people choose lesser quality products. For example, when it comes to certain women and their decisions when buying a phone, a lot of them aren't worried about what's the best of the best. Some of them will buy a phone simply for the color. Like for instance, they know that the iPhone is a good phone, so they won't ever question its productiveness. And if you put a pink iPhone 15 and a black iPhone 15 Pro, a lot of them will choose the pink iPhone 15 because it resonates with them the most, even though the Pro is a better phone. Now, another example is someone who is older. If you give them an option between the iPhone 15 Plus and the iPhone 15 Pro, more than likely they would choose the iPhone 15 Plus because it has a bigger screen and it's easier to see. It resonates with them. This is why you see technology companies not only focus on making a phone a spec sheet beast, but they're also trying to make phones more colorful, more big. And even the way they advertise is interesting because the commercials are colorful, often have children and families in them, and trying to do everything in its power for each individual to resonate with that product and buy that phone. And I'm not being biased against anybody. I just wanted to give you guys an example as to why people make certain decisions based on certain products. And this ultimately resonates with me because this is the reason why I regret switching to the Galaxy S24 Ultra from my iPhone 15 Pro Max. A lot of times with a phone or any piece of tech, it's not about what's the best, but it's more about what works with your lifestyle and environment. People in the US use different apps than people in India. People in India use different apps than people in the UK, which can also heavily influence their decision. These decisions are influenced by culture, friends, and family, which is why I wanted to tell you guys why I regret switching from my iPhone 15 Pro Max to my Galaxy S24 Ultra. Now, first and foremost, I want you guys to truly get to know me. I use a ton of different phones because it is basically my job to review and help you guys with the best purchase decision all across the board. But a lot of times I will carry two phones on me, and I usually always have a main phone that I like to have on me. So if I'm reviewing the Galaxy S24, I will have my S24 and my S24 Ultra, Pixel 8 Pro, or iPhone 15 Pro Max as my second phone. And this time around, I chose to use the S24 Ultra as my main phone instead of my 15 Pro Max. And here are some of the problems that I've encountered when making this decision. Now, the first problem that made me want to go back to my iPhone 15 Pro Max is the social media integration. Now, it's no secret that the iPhone is the best phone to use when it comes to social media. The apps look better, they get less bugs, and most importantly, most of the companies that make these apps specifically design them for the iPhone. Like for example, I'm a Twitter Blue user, and right here, you can see that the iPhone has more available features, more app icon colors, and doesn't look as blown up as it does on my S24 Ultra. Even on apps like Instagram or TikTok, the camera within the app will have much better quality than on my Android phones because the apps are truly designed for the iPhone. So a lot of times on my S24 Ultra, the quality is greatly reduced and the emojis on my stories look terrible when compared to my 15 Pro Max. And this is a huge problem for me because over the past few months, I've been taking short form content creation more seriously. So a lot of times whenever I need to shoot a video, share a nice story, or post a video that's saved in my drafts, the iPhone gets the job done so much easier since I can shoot a video on command with the camera quality, and I can post a good story with more familiar emojis to get that really clean look. And some of you guys may be thinking that this isn't a big deal, but again, I've been much more into the social media scene, and I prefer the phone that gets the job done easier and resonates with my life the most. Now, the next reason as to why I regret switching to my Galaxy S24 Ultra from my iPhone 15 Pro Max is because the iPhone makes communication easier. Now, if you're watching this from another country, I currently live in the US, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that 90% of people here have an iPhone as their main phone. Android phones here aren't that popular, which means that 9 times out of 10, when you are contacting someone, they use an iPhone, and Apple has constantly tried their best to make communication between iPhones and Androids as hard as possible. Every one of my family and friends have FaceTime, so it's more difficult, and it would take more steps to have them download Google Duo, so it's much easier for me to have my iPhone on me and just simply FaceTime them. A lot of my friends and family don't use Google Maps, so instead of just having them download it so I can share my location, it's easier to have my iPhone and send my location so they can track my whereabouts with the Find My iPhone app. Sharing and receiving high quality videos can be very difficult since they can result in very blurry captures, so it's easier to have my iPhone since I can either send videos and they're still high quality, or I can just airdrop them to someone instantly and make the process so much easier. A lot of my friends and family don't have Cash App or Zelle, so it's just much easier to be able to Apple Pay them since all you need is an iPhone for it to work, and it will send the funds over instantly without anyone having to download an app or sign in. And going even further into why having an iPhone made communication much easier, iMessage was my preferred choice since, again, Apple purposely made connecting with my S24 Ultra that much harder. When using iMessage, you can react to messages without having to say anything to get your point across. Group chats not only look better, but there are more features and things you can do to address a single person in that group chat, and even sharing music is easier. Even in terms of lifestyle, the iPhone made my life a little bit easier because as of 2024, I've been extremely strict when it comes to my health. I work out 5 times a week. I try to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night, and I try my best to watch what I eat. So instead of me having to keep switching between my Galaxy Watch and my Apple Watch, I decided to stick with my Apple Watch Ultra this year because tracking my health on one device has made my progress that much easier. And as you guys can see right here, I have closed all my health rings for a majority of 2024, and I want to keep tracking my progress on my Apple Watch Ultra. It also helps when I'm working out with my iPhone, AirPods, and Apple Watch Ultra because when I run, I can easily change songs, check my progress while I'm working out, and read important notifications when I don't feel like pulling my phone out of my pocket, resulting in a much easier workout. Now, the final reason as to why I regret switching to the Galaxy S24 Ultra from the iPhone 15 Pro Max is arguably the most important thing that I need in my everyday life, and that's the video camera. Now, in my personal opinion, iPhones have had the best video cameras since the beginning of the smartphone era. They have the best lighting, the best quality, and they give me the exact same look that I like. And this is the most important thing to me because most of the time I'm shooting videos, whether it's for Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and it always helps to be able to pull out my phone, shoot a video, and get top-notch quality. But with a Galaxy S24 Ultra, even though the camera is really good, I feel like the lighting and quality doesn't give me the look that I'm going for. Even though my home has a lot of natural light, the S24 Ultra makes it very dark for some reason. And the biggest problem has been the camera's ability to have consistent lighting. There are even times where it will drastically change the lighting and make the phone look worse than on my iPhone, and I found it much harder in general to get good consistent videos, which made me want to switch back to my iPhone 15 Pro Max. And I would say that those are pretty much the main reasons as to why I regret switching. Other small reasons include aesthetic. Android Auto looks terrible when compared to Apple CarPlay, and many apps look better on iPhone since, again, they were specifically made for it. And that's why I regret switching from my iPhone 15 Pro Max to my Galaxy S24 Ultra. Because I live in the US, a lot of my decision is influenced by the fact that I live in a place where if you have an iPhone, it will make many factors of communication and productivity easier. But besides my reasonings for why I am choosing the iPhone 15 Pro Max as my main phone right now, I will say that the Galaxy S24 Ultra is the best phone of 2024 so far. It is a better phone, and just know that if you decide to get the Galaxy S24 Ultra over the iPhone 15 Pro Max, you're basically getting the best of the best. Peace.